What is this? Why is it happening to me, and how do I fix it?
This is the hardest decision I've ever had to make, but maybe showing my journey will help others remember who they are. We are not defined by our circumstances. I know you have a bucket list, and so do I. So, scared or not, let's take back control of our own destiny because we are worth it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carrie if we haven't met yet, and I just finished 1 month of elective amputation healing on my left leg below the knee. Later on in this video, I will give you an up-close personal look of what's going on and how I'm healing. But I wanted to talk to you about something that was never supposed to happen to me. I have been planning this amputation for a year, and now I'm a month in, and I thought everything was gonna go perfectly because I got my body ready. I did all the things right. I did all of the research. I made sure that I had all of the information so that there wouldn't be any surprises. But I was shocked when I came out of amputation and had phantom pains. I didn't have nerve damage before. What had happened to my foot, if you don't know my story, is I had broken my talus bone, which is just underneath. If these are your two leg bones, your talus bone sits right at the bottom of those two bones. That was the bone that I broke. It had nothing to do with my nerves, my skin, my muscles, even the leg bones. It had nothing to do with any of that. So naturally, I thought I wouldn't have a problem with phantom pains after surgery. I researched everything. I used books, other amputees, I used forums, I used the internet, I used YouTube videos, I used everything I possibly could from not only a medical standpoint, but also a holistic standpoint of everything that I could do to get my body ready. And some of those things were cutting out sugar. I completely cut out sugar. I completely cut out caffeine. I stopped drinking coffee and other toxic beverages. I made sure to eat unprocessed foods as much as I possibly could. If your body is toxic before surgery, it's going to be toxic after surgery, and that's not going to help anybody, especially you. I could have done a little bit more exercise and made sure to strengthen my leg, but it's really, really hard to do when you're in chronic pain. Anybody who's in chronic pain knows the last thing you want to do is eat right and exercise. That is some major self-discipline in order to make that happen. What I fail to understand is that just because I didn't have nerve damage before in the trauma of an accident, we created nerve damage by cutting them. I didn't consider the fact that these nerves would be cut, traumatized, and then sewn into a new place. So to my surprise and disgust, I have phantom pains. They can be very, very strong, like somebody putting a knife into the bottom of your foot. And I know it's easy to say that, but when you actually think about somebody stabbing a knife into the bottom of your foot, that would be extremely painful. And it just makes me really just jerk up and like, ah, and just scream. It hurts so bad. But for the most part, mine are mild to medium. You know, whenever your arm or your leg falls asleep and you try to walk or you touch it and it just sends those zinging, hurting feelings up your limb, that's what it feels like. The more medium types would be whenever I try to lay down at night is when they seem to be worse. I'll try to find a position and it'll just keep shocking, almost like a TENS unit on high with those little sticky pads on there, and it's just zap, 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 zap. Every time I try to set it carefully on something. So a lot of times I just leave it up in the air until I can start to get control of those feelings, and then I'll just very gently, very carefully, very slowly, it takes me about 20 minutes to get through the process to actually relax it and lay it down. Sorry, if you see my husband in the background, he's gaming. He has his own channel and he drives stuff. I don't even know. But I was sick of being upstairs, so I came downstairs, and now you get to see his and mine. So what even is phantom pain anyway? I want to address that head on, and I'll read what the Mayo Clinic has to say about it. The Mayo Clinic says, phantom pain is a pain that feels like it's coming from a body part that is no longer there. phantom. Many experts believe phantom pain may be at least partially explained as a response to mixed signals from the brain. After an amputation, areas of the spinal cord and brain lose input from the missing limb and adjust to this detachment in unpredictable ways, which makes sense. So basically, the cut nerve endings send an incomplete response back to your brain. So what happens in phantom pains, from my understanding, I'm not a doctor, I've just researched the heck out of this. When a nerve is traumatized or cut, it fires off a signal that is incomplete. It's not attached to anything. And it goes back up into the brain and it's like, alert, there's something wrong. There's nothing there. I have nothing to tell you. It's an incomplete signal. I had TMR surgery. The targeted muscle reinnervation surgery, TMR, ties in those nerves to your muscles so that whenever your nerves fire, they fire into something. So it tells the brain, yep, I hit a muscle, complete signal.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Jace Gamer channel. Today we are going to be playing some Roblox, and I hope... Sorry, that's my mom.
So my other one obviously just came in to play his video games. Maybe I should have stayed upstairs today. So all of that being said, this is obviously not in your head. This is actual nerves actually misfiring. A lot of people say, oh, because it's phantom pain, it's all in your head. It's not. It's cut, traumatized nerves trying to do their job. Okay, then how do we prevent phantom pain? How do we avoid this altogether? Experts are actually at a loss at how to do this. They have some ideas of how to help it, especially if you have nerve pain before surgery. If you had maybe your foot in an accident of some kind where it cut nerve endings, then they might be more likely to put in a nerve block 24 hours before your amputation. For whatever reason, they have decided that it works to do a nerve block for those nerve endings to try to disassociate from what they're doing, I think is how the idea goes. Disassociate from their job before the amputation, then after the amputation, reconnect with their new job. But basically the short answer is no. There is no way to really prevent phantom pains. However, there are lots of ways to minimize them. So because I did get my body ready and I did have the TMR surgery, naturally I thought that I would not be dealing with this, but here I am dealing with it. So now I'm looking up remedies and things that help, and I have a few things that have helped. Once I discovered what I was actually dealing with, because I've never had this sensation before, I decided to throw everything that I know at it. I decided to really get quiet and listen to what my limb is trying to tell me through these phantom pains. And what I noticed was really, really interesting. Whenever my kids were up on the bed, say, and the 2-year-old almost fell off of the bed, you have that moment where even if you don't have a physical reaction, your heart sinks, your body, your mind says, oh no. And that would fire off my leg and it would just start going. And so then I was like, interesting. Whenever my brain thinks something is wrong and has an anxiety moment, my leg fires off. Why is that? So I started listening, I started watching, I started evaluating what was going on, and sure enough, every time I thought the gate was unlocked on the stairs, I didn't even have a response to this physically. But in my head, when I had that moment of terror of, oh my gosh, the gate is unlocked, he could open it and fall down the stairs, my leg started freaking out. And it happened over and over and over again. When they came tearing through the room, and I just was certain somebody was gonna trip and smack their head on the wall or the dresser or something, my leg would fire off. So then I started researching, and I found out that one of the medications prescribed for phantom pains is an antidepressant, anti-anxiety medicine. It's all starting to make sense now. It does have something to do with your brain. It's not just in your brain, it's not just psychological, it is physical. but this is very interesting, this road that I'm going down. Unfortunately, I've always struggled with anxiety. It's something that has plagued me my entire life. And so from a holistic standpoint, I knew exactly what to do with this. I've done it before. I use my magic lotions and potions, and I'm able to create a more holistic, healthy environment for my brain to thrive in. And so it made me very curious, is this something that I can use to treat my leg, my phantom pains? And I will note, I'm going to talk about medications in a little bit, but the reason that I didn't go to medications first is I've never had a good experience with medications. They always treat me wrong. I'll usually have an opposite reaction or an extremely strong reaction or something that is unconventional, and now here I am having this reaction and I'm still in pain. So I've kind of given up on medication, if I'm being completely honest. For those reasons, I've chosen a different approach to my life. What I started doing immediately was I almost doubled my magnesium intake, and that can be dangerous if you have blood pressure problems, so make sure that you look it up first. But I use a body spray, and I will link that in the description below. It's by Ancient Minerals, and it's super easy to use. I started spraying that all over my skin because your skin is your biggest organ. So I put the Ancient Minerals spray on, and I also took the liquid form of magnesium. I also am taking my vitamins, and I also am using a CBD oil on my skin for muscle regeneration because nerves heal extremely slowly. So in order to have relief from this nerve pain, I can't really count on my body to heal very quickly, so I'm going to have to calm them in some way. I have a couple of oils that I've always leaned on for anxiety, heavy anxiety, and one of them is frankincense. So if you're interested in that, also I'll put it in the description below. But that's one that always instantly fixes the anxiety going on in my brain, and it's not snake oil. It actually does have sesquiterpenes that can pass the blood-brain barrier to go to the area in your brain where it actually works. There's science behind it. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. It's something that works for me. And then something else that I've been doing is getting a lot of blood flow to this limb. Being extremities, they automatically don't have as much blood flow as your trunk. So I've been rubbing it, I've been massaging it, I've been really carefully getting blood flow to this area. I've been doing my exercises, my leg lifts, I've been doing the towel pulls that my prosthetist told me to do to get blood flow flowing through here, because blood equals oxygen, which equals healing. I have been so pleased with how my body has responded to all of these things that I've been doing, and it could also be in conjunction with the fact that I had the TMR surgery and the nerves are starting to heal. All of those things together, I'm starting to finally get relief. And when I say these suckers are Chinese torture, they are. It is just, it will bring you to tears. It is so hard to deal with something in pain over and over and over and over and over. And I understand completely why people go to medications, and I'm going to talk about medications. It just wasn't right for me and my body and my situation. And it's not that I'm a martyr. It's not that I think that I'm better than people. It's my body doesn't respond to it correctly, and to have the little bit of pain that I was going through, I was willing to go through that little bit of pain rather than have the adverse reaction or the dependency of the medication. But I'm not gonna lie at all. There were nights that I was in tears. I could not stop the pain. I could not get it to calm down. And the more it hurts, the more your body just clenches up and makes it worse. Those were the nights that I did take a pain pill, some of the extras that I had from my surgery, and it did make it stop. That's the great thing about not taking pain medication all the time, is that when you do, it'll knock you right out. There are a couple other holistic remedies that I haven't tried yet, and I haven't needed to, but those would be acupuncture and also mirror therapy. In mirror therapy, I don't have a single mirror, otherwise I would show you, but you put a mirror in between your legs. And since my whole leg is on this side, we'll pretend that this is the mirror, then I just look in the mirror on this side and I see 2 whole legs because my residual limb is over here. My brain doesn't see that. So if my brain sees an entire leg, maybe I can trick my brain into thinking it has a complete circuit to work with, that my feet are still there. I move this side of my foot, oh you can't see that, but I move my toes on this side of my leg so that my brain recognizes, oh, we're good, we're okay, we still have a complete leg, nothing to see here, we can stop firing off that there's trouble. And it works for a lot of people. I just haven't tried it. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to tell you a little bit about some medications that you can take if that's the route that you're on. And I'm not familiar with any of these. I've not taken any of these. This is a simple Google research going off of the Mayo Clinic. But what they say, and other amputees on the forums that I'm on have said, that gabapentin is one of the major ones. Another one is Lyrica, and some others would be some different narcotics that have been prescribed, as well as antidepressants and anticonvulsants. If this is something that you decide to do a little bit of research. Look up some of your symptoms, look up some of the things that are plaguing you, research what might help and the possible side effects, so that whenever you go to your doctor, you'll have a good understanding of what you're talking about, the questions that they're going to ask to help you and how to answer those, and also some of the things that you're willing to try and some of the things that you're not willing to try. It is absolutely 100% okay, no matter what, to do your research before you go to the doctor. Your doctor does not necessarily know everything in the world about every disease and expert in every single thing going on. It is okay to do your research, have an understanding of what you want to talk about, and talk about it with them, and they can put in their expertise, you can put in your research, and find the very best thing for you. I'm not saying that doctors don't know anything, because they are there for a reason. Absolutely, 100% they are necessary. But you as an individual, you can also do your due diligence. Before I show you my up-close personal look, like I always do, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. I want to say I hope that you found value in these videos. It's the only reason that I make them, take time out of my day to make them. You take time out of your day to watch them. I hope that they're helping. If you have any questions, things that I use, some suggestions for me, some questions for me, just put them in the comments. I try to respond to all of them. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you have to say. And if this is something you think would benefit somebody you know, feel free to share.
Okay, so as promised, here is my leg. Please excuse my house. I have children. I have worked very hard to get it closed up before my next prosthetist appointment because we had to leave in some of the stitches. And it's doing pretty good. I shaved it. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did shave it. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I've been washing it with soap and water now that I'm 30 days out, and I shaved it. But here it is. It still has a little bit of liquid here and there coming out of it, but for the most part, it's completely scabbed up. It is doing a lot better. I've been putting a lot of lotions and potions, what I always call them, my oils and different things, on there to help it kind of heal up quicker and better and healthier and all that stuff. But this is 30 days out. But this is also 30 days out. So it's kind of irritating that this still has so much longer to heal, but this is the exact same surgery and it's completely healed up, and I've been rubbing Moderna stuff on there to keep the scar tissue from building up. Anyway, this is what it looks like 30 days out.
I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.